Hello, in this JavaScript video, I am going to show you functions, also known as methods. So what is a function? It essentially allows you to bundle up some code, or also known as abstracting it out, and you assign some name to it, which is the function name. You call that function. Now what we've done here with prompts built in, and console.log as well for that matter, and you'll perform those, instruction, the set of code. So if you have 10 lines of code in there, you call the function, you'll initiate those 10 lines of code. I'm not thinking, why do I want to do that? Sound like, extra effort. Main reason is when you are creating an application, you are going to have functionality that's used a lot throughout the different parts in your application. And what will happen is the actual code is the same and you'll just be duplicating it. If you need to update it or let's say fix a bug, you have to do that in every scenario. Imagine if you have the same code, let's say 50 lines of code in 100 different locations. And trust me, that is more than possible in any half decent size application. So anything beyond what, just the simple stuff we're doing here with a few lines, you'll have duplicate code unless you use functions. So let's just go ahead and create one. I'll actually get rid of this. So to create one, you just put the keyword function, then you name your function. I'm going to name it awesome func, and open close brackets, curly braces, and in here is where you specify all your code. And I'm going to specify 2 lines, and I'm simply going to do a console log, and these console logs are going to say hello. I'll actually do 3. I was already going to do the 1. I'm going to do hello and world, but I'm going to do hello and goodbye. So it'll be funny. So if I refresh, as you can see, nothing is printed out. I'm thinking, why is that? We got the 3 console log lines, there's no errors produced, we've used console before, what's going on? And the thing is, they've been encapsulated in this awesome func. Remember that prompt function that we used in the previous video? If you don't initiate or call that function, the prompt box doesn't appear. You don't want, everything just appearing and happening without you initiating it. So to initiate it, you just use the name of the function, so awesome func, open close bracket, semicolon, and this, because it doesn't have the keyword function, it says find a function called awesome func. It knows it's a function because of the curly braces, and it's going to locate it and run it. So if I click it, there you go. It is working. Awesome stuff. So we can do a couple of other things with functions. One, we can have values passed into the function. So let's create sort of like an adder. So function, we'll call it sum because that's the mathematical term for it. Function sum, and we want to pass in 2 values. So these 2 values you could get via prompt boxes. You could get from the user, using an actual input box. It doesn't really matter how you get them. And in here, we want to pass in 2 values. So we just go right here. We do var, and we specify the actual functions themselves. So we just need to specify the actual variable names, and these variable names are just specific to this function, so that you don't need the keyword var. Sorry. So I'm just going to actually call num1 comma num2, and these are variables, and it knows they're variables because it's within these brackets, so that's the reason you don't need to specify the keyword variable. Okay, so we've got num1, num2. You can pass in as many as you want. You just separate it with a comma. They can be all different data types if you want to. We're going to do num1. So we're actually going to create a variable inside of here. Do var equals, so var result equals num1 plus num2. And in here we'll do console.log. Result, save, refresh. There we go. And it says not a number. Apparently something's not a number. That is because we have not passed in anything. So we need to pass something in. So let's pass in 4 and 7. Sure we can handle that, or do we need to open the calculator? Let's open the calculator. I think I'm unable to calculate that. 4 plus 7 equals seems legit to me. I think all my years doing maths, I think that's right. So 4 plus 7 is 11. Make sure that is saved. refresh, and we have the value 11 pumped out. So that's all great. You might be thinking, actually, let me just add a few lines here, just so this is, a little higher up. Might be thinking, okay, this is really cool. We can pass variables in, we could add them, multiply them, get something from a database. It doesn't really matter what you're doing with it. You could do something. But what if you don't want to, console log it every time? So maybe you want to get some value, put it into a variable, assign it to a variable, or console log it, or put it into a database, or this, or that. And how do you do that? And it's called a return type. So if I create another function called sum, and I'm going to call it return, sum return. So call it whatever you want. So num1, num2. Bear in mind, though these are named the same, they are separate variables. These have a scope of this function, so they cannot be used outside. Same with result. Result cannot be used outside of this function. If this variable was created outside of the function and you used it inside, that is fine, but you can't declare it using the var keyword inside of the function and expect to use it outside. So in here, we are basically going to do the same thing, but we're not going to console log it. You use the return keyword, specify what you want to return, so the data, put a semicolon, and now if I do sum return, let's say 5 and 6, so that should get same value again. 5 and 9, that should get us carry the 1, square root the 2. I think we're getting roughly 14 in my head. And now if we reload, okay, nothing has changed. The reason is, it literally just, it's not because of the semicolon, I will prove that. It simply doesn't print it out because we haven't specified. This returns the value, and this is the same thing as writing 14, which does nothing. But we can actually print it out. So if we do console.log, we could print it out like so. There we go. We got 14 printed out. And you might be thinking that is really cool. Anywhere that you can put like any sort of data, you could specify a function call, and any data that's returned, you'll literally put it here. Another thing you can do is, say if I create a variable called epic var, because it is an epic variable, you can make it equal to the result of a function that is returned. So if I put in 2 and 100, so quite a large value, and now if I do console.log epic var, and now if I save that, go back and refresh it, there we go, we have 102 printed out. So that's function, that's really all there is to it. You can put literally any piece of JavaScript code that you want inside of one of them, but these are the main types of functions: one without parameters or arguments, one with parameters, and one with parameters that also returns a value. You could also have a function that takes in no parameters but returns a value, but doesn't actually, let's say, do all of this console logging. As an extra task, I'm going to leave that to you. If you have any questions, feel free to pop me a message, and as usual, I look forward to seeing you in the next video.